Hello everyone, this is Julie with Craft with Julie, and we are going to start off our virtual craft day with creating the set of cards using the Hey Handsome collection. So let me show you the cards we're going to be creating. There's this one, You're a Classic, Hats Off to You, limited edition. Aren't these going to be great for like Father's Day? You're the Best. Why is tough, funny, and strong? #1 dad. So we are going to be using this stamp set right here called limited edition. If I remember, yes, limited edition is the stamp set and the thin cut that has that cute little hat. Hopefully you've cut yours out. If not, you can do it along the way. We're also going to be using some Mink ink and black. We are going to be sanding a little bit. So if you have a little sanding block, or go borrow some from your husband out in the garage. Oh goodness, blending tool. I'm trying to think of all the things. And then grab your stickers because we're going to be using those. And I think that is all. And your paper, or sorry, your card spaces and envelopes. So I've already cut my papers and I put them in this little envelope to keep them straight. And so let's go ahead and start with card #1. Have my instructions. Now if you're just joining us, you can get these instructions. They're still available. If you place an order on my website during May, I send you the instructions for free. If you're one of my VIP customers, check your email or your Facebook inbox, however we communicate, and you'll have the workshop guide there for you. Or you can just purchase just the workshop guide if you already have your own supplies. So I will put a link for grabbing that guide. Okay, so let's go ahead. Here is card #1. I'm actually going to take it out of the plastic so it doesn't glare. I had these out at my crop that we had earlier this month, so I put them in plastic to keep them safe. Okay, so I'm going to just pull these out, and what we'll need for this card #1 is we have a piece of paprika that I called it a denim pattern. The hat cut out of pine cardstock, and I believe that is all. So let's go ahead and stamp the hat. Let me grab. Actually, what I want to do first is I'm going to sand this hat and then stamp it. So I'm just going to grab a piece of scratch paper that I have sitting here. So I don't want to use sandpaper on my mat, that will scuff it up. So I'm just going to lightly go over the hat, and it brings out some of that white core. And then make sure you get some in that center, give that distressed look. Okay, so cute. Put that off to the side. And then on our card base, my package of card bases right here. I'll grab those. We are going to stamp the star, which is right here on this stamp set. We're going to be using this stamp set again in June. I'm like, which month? June. And I'll show you those projects at the end of today so you can see what we're going to be doing next month. So I want scratch paper again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this in half, and I am going to second generation stamp the star using Mink ink. So I don't want it to be like in your face, but you can see just a kind of a shadow of a star. So that's what we're going to do. And so I'll ink that up, stamp it off, and then bring it over and stamp it on my project. So you just have kind of a shadow of a star, and I'm going to do that all over this right hand side. So you can barely see the outline. If you want it to show up darker, you totally can. I just thought it was a little too busy for my taste, but whatever works for you. Okay, so you can just barely see those little stars. And then I'm going to take the Mink ink. I'm just going to bring back my, I should just leave my scratch paper here. And I'm going to use this blending tool just to add a little bit of shading to the outside of this card. Make sure my camera is still good. Been having issues with my light and my camera or the thing that holds my camera, so hopefully it's all good today. Okay, I love the blending brush because it just gives it a nice light touch of color, and it's really super easy to use, and I feel like you can't really mess it up. So I'm going to add a little bit more shading right here in this white space because I don't want it to be white. I'm kind of more of a distressed look. Okay, I think we're done with that. Okay, now let's do the hat. I'm going to stamp this hat. So cute. This little guy has been used a lot, so he's losing his stick, but what I need to do is just run him under water with maybe some dish soap, and it will get his stickiness back. Then I'm also going to stamp #1 Dad, and you can choose whichever stamp you want. You can leave the hat blank too, totally up to you. So I'm going to take my black ink right here and stamp the outline. On the hat. Just hold it for just a second. That's so cute. Okay, and then we need the #1 Dad. Stamp that in front of the hat. Okay. And you know what I did forget is my dots. So I'll show you where they go, but I didn't bring them in here with me, so sorry about that. Okay, so now we can start assembling this card. And we're going to take the paprika, and we're going to leave a little bit of an edge right here on the left-hand side. And then the denim piece, or you could do the stripes, whatever you would like, and put that in the center. And then the #1 Dad, and just put that in the center right there. And then we're going to take our stickers. A sticker sheet has these really great words, and I just thought it would work really well on this card. So I'm going to choose wise and tough, funny, and strong. But you can choose whichever words work for you, or you don't even have to put words on there if you don't want. Okay, so then I forgot my dots. I put 2 black stars right there, or you can leave it without the stars. So there's the 2 options. Okay, so that's card #1. Let's move on to card #2. And that is this one right here. Again, let me take this out of the plastic. Should have done that earlier, sorry about that. Okay, so this one right here. All Star, you are the best. So you will need, we're going to use this piece to stamp the hat on. Then you'll have 2 of the harbor pieces, this green circle pattern and the stripe pattern. And then this is actually a sticker. So let's go ahead and stamp and cut those out. This sticker right here, this gray one, we are going to stamp "You Are the Best." And, or you could do "Hats Off to You." Choose whichever one you would like. I chose "You Are the Best" because that's more generic. And we're going to use our black ink and we're going to stamp it right on that sticker. It's kind of scary, but we can do it. Okay, "You Are the Best." Ta-da! Oh, I don't know why I'm doing that because we need this. We need to stamp some other things. Okay, we'll set that aside for a second. We want to rough up our hat just like we did the other one with the sandpaper. And I just think it just adds, I don't know, it looks more realistic when it's roughed up versus leaving it plain, but it's totally up to you. And then we need to stamp the hat on the paprika piece there, and then also on this denim piece, and then we're going to cut out some of those. That's what I've loved about this little hat. I've tried different combinations of patterns and stuff to make the hats. It's so fun. And then we're going to stamp All Star while we have this out. There is, right there, All Star. I stamp it in the center of the hat. And we're just using basically just the 2 inks today, so it's really great if you have those in your stash. All Star. Okay. So let's go ahead and, let's finish stamping. So I need to stamp, oh, there they are. I'm like, where did I put them? They're right in front of me. And then we'll do the cutting and assembling. So on this card, you can see right across the center, I stamped the card, or the star, in Mink Ink. And I'm going to bring my scratch piece back in. And I'm just going to randomly stamp them across the center of the card. Sure, get some ink on that one. Okay, I think that's good. And then let's take our blending tool, and I'm just going to add a little bit of color right across the center because I don't want it to be so bright white. So this is a really great way to kind of make, what is it called? Make your distress. Yes, maybe that's the word I'm looking for. Distress your paper so it's not so bright white. Okay, so let's set that aside. And look how cute. So you can leave your hat the same, but I wanted to show you a little bit of different technique that you can do with this hat. So we're going to cut out this side piece, and I'm going to cut out on the outside of the black line, not on the inside, or not right on the line, but on the outside, so we keep that black outline. Hopefully that makes sense. It's probably hard to see on camera. Okay. oops, there we go, just get this one. There we go. And then it's going to go right there. And then we're going to do, is it the brim or the bill, or is it the same of the hat? I should have asked my son. He actually collects hats. He has them all over, like around, it's almost like a border in his room. He hangs them on the wall all around the top of his room. And he just collects them from wherever he goes or different events that he goes to. It just kind of makes me laugh, but he collects hats and shoes. But I'm guessing that's probably a normal young adult thing to do. Okay, so now we can just take some adhesive and basically just paper piece that right on top, right there. And then on this one, you want to make sure you get that tip. Otherwise, it won't stay down because it's so teeny. And fit that in right there. Isn't that cute? So it just makes, it's just a fun, different way to use this hat. Okay, so now we can attach these onto our card. We're going to do the stripes first and do that on the top. And then our Harbor cardstock right underneath there. And then the green circle. Oops, got a little adhesive on there. Okay, and then our Harbor piece again. Right there. And then we can add our hat. Right in the center. And then the sticker that we stamped, "You Are the Best," right there. Okay, now if you have the stars, let me clean off my mat, we're sticking everywhere. You can put them right here, or if you do not have them, that's what it would look like. So there you go. That is card number 2. All right, I'm going to flip over my instructions and we're going to start on card number 3. You're a Classic. This one was kind of fun. I didn't use any stamping on this one. I love using the stickers to see how far I can go and what I can make with them. So it's kind of, I don't know, fun little challenge when I design these workshops. So you will need a piece of this paprika pattern, some white cardstock, and a couple squares of pattern, and then some of the star zip strip, and then this black piece right here is a sticker. So we are going to go ahead and just get this going. Get your card base, and let's start with the paprika. Let's lay that down first. And that goes right over the whole front of your card. And then we have our white piece. Now I just finished up June's workshop that I'm going to show you at the end of the day, and it uses the stickers as well, and I'm so excited how it turned out, so I can't wait to show you. Okay, so we are going to do, actually, you know what I did is I edged distressed this white. I knew it was too white, so I'm just going to add a little bit on the edge just to give it a little bit more rustic look. So you can even do it after your paper has been laid down. This adds a little bit of shading. And these blending tools are really cool. I they come like in a pack of 3, and I just use this one for like my grays, and then I have one like for my greens, and anyway, so I just have one designated just for certain colors, and I just leave them sitting on my desk. They're really cool to have. All right, so now we're going to doodle, because I am a doodler, and we're going to add a double doodle. So I'm going to go once and then go right over that same line and do it again. And here we go. All 4 sides. And here, there we go. Okay. Cute, cute. Okay, so now let's lay down our pattern squares. And, oops, there we go. They go this way. So you can kind of just lay them out however you'd like. It looks like I did the green and the denim one first, and then add the stripe in the center. Just gonna just lay that down. And you can see that I'm not using too much 3D foam. The thin 3D foam that I like to use on cards is actually out of stock right now, and I am watching it like a hawk until it comes back in. So I'm trying to be a little more careful of how much I use. But I did use a little bit on this little motorcycle. So on this zip strip, we're going to just tear that to rough up the edge a little bit. I'm going to do that on the other side as well. This adds another fun little texture to this card. Put that in the center. And then this black sticker kind of reminded me of asphalt a little bit, so we're going to use that. And put that in this right underneath. And then we have our little motorcycle. Oh, right here. You're a classic. And you can use some 3D foam. I'm just going to grab what I have sitting here on my desk. This is from like those shaker cards. Don't ever throw away the center of those little shakers, because they have some nice little squares of 3D foam that you can use for other projects. Okay, so you're a classic. Kind of put that right in the center. And the last thing are some stickers. So looks like this little guy right here. I'm gonna put him under the green, and then just a plain white one and put it up here. Okay, I think that is done. So that is card number 3. Fun, fun. Okay. So these cards aren't too hard to put together, but I think just with the different elements and the hat is what, oh my goodness, this hat, I just love it. That's why we're using it again in June. So this is card number 4, hats off to you. So you will have a piece of the Harbor pattern 2 stripes, your hat, and a little piece of white and the paprika. Okay, so let's do this. Oh wait, we need to distress it. You don't have to do the sandpaper, but like I said, it kind of makes it more look realistic to me, I guess. Okay. And make sure you get that little center, show some of that white. So I probably should have mentioned Close to My Heart's cardstock has a white core. So when you sand it, you get this white showing, and that's how you get the really cool look. Okay, so now let's go ahead and stamp our hat in black ink. Stamp it. I probably should mention as well, I only did 1 card of each, but you could go back and create more using your scraps. So even though I'm just doing one today, you could get more out of it. You know, I know you'll probably have some of, excuse me, especially if this one, I know you'll have extras left over. You could totally make quite a few of these if you want to. So just a thought, even though I didn't make multiples, you totally can with your leftovers. That's what I'm trying to say. You can make more. Okay, so hats off to you. I knew I'd figure out how I wanted, what I was trying to say. And stamp that in the center. Wouldn't this be cute to make for like a baseball team? Hats off to you, or even the coach. So cute. All right, now let's get our card base. We're not a baseball family, but I love a good baseball hat. So, I mean, we do other sports. So we do lacrosse and football and basketball around here. I think that's plenty. All right, so let's lay these down. And you just want to leave a little bit of an edge around the edge of the card and then in between. So I'm going to do the outside edges first, and then I'll make up the difference in the center, if that makes sense. Make sure it's in the center. There we go. And put our little hat right there. And paprika piece underneath. And then hats off to you. There we go. Isn't that cute? If you have your dots, you can add a white dot, like a 3 right there. Or if you're like me and forgot, there's your card. Yeah, that'd be so cute for a coach. All right, then it is our last one, card number 5, and I kind of think this is my favorite. I struggled with this one, and then it sat on my desk, and I messed around with it for a while, and it turned into this, and I think I just love it. So if you're, I guess the lesson learned, if it's something is just not quite right, just give it time, come back and look at it later, and it'll eventually work itself out. So I'm going to take the Mink Ink again, and I'm going to go ahead and add some of that to the edge. It happens more than you would think. I get stuck on something and I have to leave it on my desk for a while, or even just, you know, I'm working on something and the kids need help with homework or it's time for dinner, and then I'll come back the next day and it just makes more sense to me. It's kind of funny how that works. Does anybody else have the same thing? You have to walk away from your project for a little bit and then come back and finish? Let me know in the comments, or where you get your inspiration. Okay. All right, so now let's take that little star and we're going to random stamp it around the outside because you won't see it in the center. We'll make sure we get plenty of those little guys around the edge. The star, I just love it. It's just the cutest little stamp set. It's also, you can get this stamp set without thin cut, so if you do not have a die cutting machine, there is an option, and you can just fussy cut that hat instead of cutting it with a thin cut. All right, and now let's stamp the other pieces. So we have, all right, our hat, which we're going to rough up again with our sandpaper. So I get it in the center a little bit. Okay, and we can stamp it with black ink. This is so cute, these little dad cards. You don't even have to stamp dad on this one if you just want it to be more of a note card for somebody. But since Father's Day is coming up soonish, I just thought dad in the center would be cute. And we're going to stamp limited edition on this white piece right here, but you want to stamp it off to the right hand side to give room for that hat. It's hard to see it on that white. There we go. And then if you want to stamp dad in the center, you can, or you can even do mom if you need a Mother's Day card. I like a good hat too, so my favorite hat is a Nike hat I got from Disneyland. It's just black and has a little Mickey Mouse on the front. I love it. Okay, so I think that is all we need. We can put this together. So I'm going to add the square in the center of the card. And then we haven't used this pattern yet, and so I had to include it somewhere. So this is the card we're including it on, because others, yeah, it's kind of busy, so it's hard to, I thought it was hard to use on a card, but we found one. Then I'm going to add this limited edition. Oh, that's funny, look. It's like exactly the same almost. Sorry. I was like, oh, look at that. The pattern matches up almost perfectly. Okay, I'm going to add our hat kind of off to the left-hand side. Just covering up, oops, that little white strip just a little bit. And then these little guys right here are the tops of these. So I'm going to do the orange one first, and I'm just going to snip it the top off. So I have that rounded edge. And look how cute that is. You can use that square for something else. Okay, I'm going to tuck that in. And then we have the plaid one right next, or not next to it, but right here. And we're going to just snip off the top of that one. So don't be afraid to cut up your stickers and use them in different ways than you think, than they're intended. Because I just needed a little something up there, and it was already rounded, worked out perfect. So if you have your dots, you can put a heart right there. But there you go, that is card number 5. Again, you should have enough leftover papers and stuff that you could create more of these cards if you want to. So this is just kind of a starting point for you. If you want more of a certain design, you most definitely can. Okay, there we go. There are our cards. How'd you guys do? Let me know in the comments if you followed along. Again, this is the Hey Handsome collection from Close to My Heart. It is still available. If you are just tuning in and you want to create these, there's still time. I will put a list of the products used, and also if you place an order on my website, which is juliescott.closetomyheart.com, I'll send you this workshop guide for free, or if you're a VIP, you should already have this workshop guide. So, all right, if you have any questions, let me know. Come back in just a little bit and we will start on the scrapbook layouts. See you in a bit.